Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Suranjali Seal, and like I always say, if you are somebody that loves literature and is all about literature, then this is the channel for you. In our video today, we're going to discuss books again. I am going to recommend really good traditional literature from India. So this is like whatever we have produced back home and produced at home, and they have stood the test of time. They are completely ingrained and are a core part of who we are. They have been embedded in our thought system, in the way our society works. So I'm going to talk about none other than the Mahabharata and the modern retellings of the same. So I am going to refer to it as the Mahabharata. We call it the Mahabharat, but I would say Mahabharata because it's the English pronunciation and the A is stressed. So the Mahabharata is the book that I read I think last year, and then I read the retellings of it, like the many retellings that are going on these days. So I read them over the year one by one, and I was just done with it this year. So I would want to talk about the book because it is my favorite epic. It is my favorite book because I feel like the Ramayana talks about human perfection, but the Mahabharata talks about human imperfections. It talks about how frail we are, how we make repeated mistakes and seldom learn from them, and that's the truth about who we are as human beings. That's the sense of being human, that we're prone to making mistakes. We're far from being perfect. So all the characters in the Mahabharata are imperfect. They're not perfect completely, and that's why I resonate with them. And also I like the modern retellings because they are taking this modern aspects, they're incorporating modern aspects of our society into the myth itself without changing it at all. So this is what I'm going to be discussing with you. It took me like 3 months to read the original text because it's the longest epic poem known to the world. So I've just opened Google and I'm just going to read something to you. The Mahabharata is the longest epic poem known and has been described as the longest poem ever written. So its longest version consists of over 1,00,000 shlokas, or over 2,00,000 individual verse lines. So that's the length of the entire poem, and long prose passages also. There are prose that features also in between. So the thing is, what I'm trying to say, it's a huge text, but I did also read the abridged version, and this is the one. I'll show you. Okay, so this is the one. It is the abridged. It's abridged and translated by John D. Smith, and it has been published by Penguin Classics. So this is the one that I read, and it is in shambles, if you can see it, because like I read it so many times, and I love the book. So Mahabharata is the one that I want to actually talk about today, and I would want to suggest also. I think that it's incredibly modern because it deals with modern issues, and it kind of gives me the sense that these have been the truths of our society and how stagnant we have been as far as these truths are concerned. If you consider Draupadi's disrobing also, this has been written thousands of years back, the Mahabharata. And to talk about this issue during that time is incredibly modern because these are the truths of society even today. So the Mahabharata has many subplots. There are multiple characters, and it's phenomenal. Like, it's very surprising, phenomenal, and pleasant to see how all of these subplots and all of these characters finally fall into place towards the end of the epic, towards the end of the entire plot. So everybody falls into place in this epic battle. There's this cause and effect reason to everything. It screams karma. It teaches us a lot of moral lessons as well, and it makes us think. And towards the end, at the culmination of everything, we feel like all of these subplots kind of come together and present the ending. So that is why this is very, very interesting. Now, I would also want to talk about the modern retellings of the same. So let's get into that. So the first retelling which I would want to talk about is this one. It is called The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. Now, Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni has narrated or has talked about the entire Mahabharata from Draupadi's perspective. You know, Draupadi is the one who brings about the war. She's one of the strongest characters in the Mahabharata. So the Palace of Illusion is actually her retelling of the Mahabharata. From her perspective, she's actually telling us the same story, and it is very interesting because Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni actually deals with important issues. She talks about feminism, gender roles. She talks about the crime, what women have to go through, their ordeals and everything. So she talks about all of that in this novel. Also, this is important because she gives voice to situations and people that before did not have were not as expressive in the original epic. So, and some people might also argue that if she's giving her opinions, does that change the original epic or not? I don't think so, because she actually, whatever reaction she gives, it actually is reflective of our human nature. So if when Draupadi is being disrobed, okay, in the middle of the entire hall, so anyone in her position, Draupadi is being disrobed in in the middle of the in public, so to say, and there's nobody that comes forth or stands up for her. So in that situation, if Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni or modern writers are writing that she felt humiliated, her pride was hurt, she was angry, she was sad, she was afraid, she did not know what to do, she did not know what's going to happen next, you cannot deny it, because this is like the normal human feeling. This is the normal way that a person in similar situation would act. So she brings out, rather, Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni and all these modern writers who are retelling the Mahabharata, they're giving voice to these things that before were not as loudly spoken of in the original text. So now they're talking about these things, and that gives us a sense, if you see it another perspective, how modern the Mahabharata is. It has been written thousands of years back, okay, and it's the longest longest epic in the world. So the Mahabharata has modern themes, modern issues that it deals with, and it makes us think. And also, can you see that because you find them in such an ancient text, that these issues were alive even then, and we're dealing with them even now in our society. So what does that tell us? That these are the weaknesses of human society. Have we always been like this? So that's the thing in question. How do we change? So all of these intricate things are dealt with in the retellings, and that's why they are important. So this is The Palace of Illusions. I suggest that you read all of them after reading the original epic. The original epic also is a page turner. It is phenomenal. There's so many subplots. Each subplot is a story on its own. All of the subplots are important. Without one, also the importance of this epic would not come to fruition. So the Mahabharata, the original epic, is a great epic tale. So read that first, and then read the ones that I'm suggesting now. The second one that I want to talk about is Karna's Wife, and it is by Kavita Kane. So Kavita Kane also is somebody who actually talks about, she's basing her main plot for this book also, she's actually basing it on the Mahabharata, and this time she's talking about the Mahabharata from Karna's wife's perspective. We had Draupadi's perspective in Palace of Illusions. So in Palace of Illusions, we had Draupadi narrating the whole thing. Here we have, it's the perspective and the feelings and the the mood of Karna's wife. Karna's wife, so if you remember, I said Draupadi had been disrobed in public. So Karna's idea, it was his idea to actually disrobe her, and because he was angry, and there's a backstory to it and everything, so he was angry, and the attempt, okay, he's the one who instigates Dushasana. Dushasana is Draupadi's brother-in-law. So he's the one who actually instigates Dushasana to actually disrobe her in public, and Draupadi is saved by divine intervention because of Krishna, by the divine intervention of Krishna. So Krishna is the one who comes to save her. There's also symbolism over there, all of that, and Karna meets his due, and Dushasana also meets his fate in the Mahabharata because all of them are killed in the great battle. So it is Karna's wife. Karna is the one who actually instigates the disrobing of Draupadi. So it's his wife, and it's so interesting because Karna was an outcast, we know right from day one, and I don't want to tell you the whole story, but I'm telling you that he is the outcast. He does not fit in anywhere, and it's only Dushasan, the bad one, the bad guy, it's only Dushasan who actually accepts him as his friend, recognizes him as his friend. Okay, but there are also this there's this also backstory, because Dushasana does not like Draupadi's husband, okay, who's his brother. So he does not like the Pandavas, so that's why the Pandavas negated Karna, so Dushasana went and he befriended Karna. That is also another take on it. But yeah, Dushasan was the one who actually befriended Karna. He's the one who recognized Karna as worthy. So Karna was always a loyal friend to him. Now it is this outcast, okay, whose wife is this person, the outcast's queen, Karna's wife. And this person is the one who's telling her story of the Mahabharata. And that's also very, very interesting, because once you read from Draupadi's perspective, you'll get one type of view. When you read from Karna's wife's perspective, you'll get another type of view, okay, of the same epic. So it's very, very interesting how these modern retellings are dealing with the epic. So here it's interesting to see how she reacts to the disrobing. I was distraught and heartbroken when I read it, and the way when Karna comes home and she already knows what he has done. She's his wife and she knows what he has done, and he loves her, no doubt, but it's because of that anger and prejudice that he acted, and she knows that he did it, and how the reaction is so real and so helpless from her side also. And he also tries to make up to her, but she just can't take it, and she doesn't like it. Okay, so I mean, it's interesting because the outcast's queen also she has to live. She is a princess, but she leaves that life of comfort and comes to stay with Karna in his humble abode, and humble abode comparatively. And he's an outcast, so like people from the kingdom and other people look down upon him, so she has to deal with that also as his wife. So all of these things are dealt with in Karna's wife. Now, why am I mentioning these two books? It's because, see, mythology will always have a space in human heart, okay, in the human heart. We have had oral tradition since time immemorial, that stories were being passed down generation after generation through the oral tradition. So, mythology, legends are always a part of human civilizations. And the Mahabharata is a big legend, a big myth, a big epic, which has stayed with us as a civilization. So I think that in this increasingly digital, materialistic world, it is also important that the relevance of it is held down. It continues to inspire people even today, and it will continue to do so for in the times to come. So these modern retellings of the Mahabharata are interesting because they serve that purpose. I feel they add to that charm, to that allure of the myths, to the allure of the epics. This is just my opinion, because see, they are all talking about feminist perspectives, gender roles, about breaking stereotypes. They're talking about these strong women characters that come out of all of this, and it makes us hug, or rather embrace the epic again, and we kind of read the epic again, realizing that it was modern all along, that it has stood the test of time because it has these universal qualities in it, because it deals with these universal social issues that engulf human civilization as we move through time in multiple civilizations. So these have been a part of and parcel of our lives, and these kind of issues, and all of it is dealt with in the Mahabharata. So it does not mean they're rewriting the epic or this is completely new. No. It's just like you're filling in the blanks or expressing your feelings, and this again add to the charm, and they kind of attract us to the main epic again. So this is Karna's wife, The Palace of Illusions, and there's one other another book that I'm going to talk about. So let's move on to that one. Okay, so the next book that I would want to actually suggest is Satyavati by Utkarsh Patel. This is Utkarsh Patel, and he's the one who actually wrote this retelling, and it is story of this woman Satyavati, and she's the one who's the root of it all. It begins with her. Without her, probably Mahabharata would not even happen. She's the one who actually sets the events in motion. And you know, in the main epic, she does not appear as a major character. She comes and goes. She actually features more like a minor character. But here in this book, he has actually showed her to be the one who actually sets everything in motion. She comes off as a strong character of her own. She is the one who actually gets things going. And you know, it's very interesting to see she's not depicted as a victim who surrenders to her fate. She is depicted as somebody who does not go back crying. She actually manipulates and creates her own situations. She does not surrender to destiny, but she makes her own future. She actually paves her own way. She breaks barriers. She's unconventional, and all in all, she's a strong woman character. So this is what Satyavati is all about. And definitely she's not one who's going to be weak in situations. She does not surrender to any one situation that's hurled at her. She's very calculative. She's very strong, and this is one which actually questions gender roles. It is one which is centered around female characters. So this is another book that you can give a read. Now, the other book, the fourth book, I think, yeah, which I would want to, wait, 1, 2, 3, okay, the fifth book that I would want to suggest is Jaya by Devdutt Patnaik. Now, this is not like a retelling, but it's a retelling in what sense? It is sort of like a shortened summary of the Mahabharata. You will not get the details of the poetic verses and all that here, but an overall story you'll get. It has pictures, and if I'm not mistaken, he has drawn them. This is an illustrated version of the entire epic. So this is the one. So this is also very good. If you don't want to read the entire epic, you can read this also. This will provide you, an overall, sort of like it's not even a summary. I mean, he actually tells the stories from the Mahabharata again. So you'll actually get an idea of the epic itself, and it's very, very interesting. So this I've just, suggested because in the title also he says that Jaya, an illustrated retelling of the Mahabharata. So you get an essence of the epic from this book itself. Now there are other epics. There are other retellings, like you have, say, I'll just refer to. You have Mrityunjay, then you have Yajna Seni. These are other books. Or you have the entire Mahabharata from Duryodhan's perspective also, the bad guy's perspective. You have the roll of the dice. All of these things are also there, which I haven't read, so I haven't suggested them here. But what I am trying to say is, you know, the significance of retellings lie in the fact that they make us think, they suit the modern temperament, the fact that we are able to relate to this, the retellings. It's because our sensibility in modern times is like that. We want to be equal, we want to be respectful, we want to make better ourselves, we want a society that is better than what it already is. We want to strive, we always strive towards perfection, but we want to strive towards a better tomorrow, and that's why these retellings hold their own importance. I feel they kind of add to the lure, charm of the original epic, and when you read the original epic, I think that you can interpret it more. If you see it as an epic, then the epic poem, from the literary perspective, I think that these kind of perspectives, these kind of retellings add to the richness of it all. So that is it for today, guys. I wanted to suggest these 4 books that you could read, which center the greatest epic, one of the greatest epics ever written, and it is the longest epic of the world, the Mahabharata. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you have, then please don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel for similar content. And if you love literature and you're all things literature, then this is the place to be. Till we meet again, I really hope that you stay healthy and happy. Take care of yourself. See you in the next one, guys.